Hi, passionate Rangers FC fans. Welcome to Rangers Update, your dedicated source for all things Rangers. Before we dive in, we want to express our gratitude for your unwavering support. If you bleed blue, don't forget to subscribe. Smash that like button, and then let's strengthen our community. Now let's get into the latest updates. A hearty welcome to our new followers. Your backing means the world to us. Wop, let's get to the news. Oi lads, the rumor mill in Govan is spinning faster than a Greg's queue on a Monday morning. And this time, it's CYRIEL who's causing the chatter. Word on the street, and it's getting louder by the hour, is that the Nigerian striker's time at Rangers might be up. Now we've not had an official club statement just yet, but Dezers himself has dropped a fair few hints that suggest he's packing his bags and getting ready for pastures new. Social media has been buzzing since last night when the big man posted what looked like a farewell message, and fans are really taking it lightly. After just one season at IBROX, folk are asking, was it really the right fit? He did bag a decent number of goals. Aye, but the criticism's been heavy, especially when he failed to turn up in the big matches. It's the kind of scenario that raises questions. Is he leaving because the pressure got too much, or has he got a better offer elsewhere? The club's direction under the new gaffer might not include desserts, and you can ignore the body language. Lately, he's looked distant, like his mind's already crossed the channel. The timing of it all's a wee bit suspect too. You can preseason just kicked off, and the squad's starting to shape up for the new campaign. If Desirez was part of the long-term plan, surely he'd be elbow deep in the session showing the hunger, the fight, the commitment. But insiders are saying he's been on the fringes, barely involved in the tactical drills, and smiling like a man who knows he's off-ski. What's more, there's been whispers of interest from clubs in France and Belgium, places where the style of play might suit him a wee bit better. Rangers fans are torn. Some say good riddance, others reckon we're losing a lad who never got a fair shake. But either way, the silence from the club is deafening. It's like everyone's walking on eggshells, waiting for the final nod that makes it all official. This feels like one of those stories that's been simmering for weeks behind closed. It does. And now it's just a matter of time before the pot boils over. Whether it's mutual consent or a sold transfer, the reality's setting in desserts, and Rangers are on the brink of calling it quits. And if you think about it, the signs have been there all along. Remember that post-match interview back in April when Desires looked like he'd rather be anywhere else? He was tight-lipped, curt, no eye contact, no emotion. Some wrote it off as frustration, but now in hindsight, it might have been the start of the breakup. Players don't always speak with their words, but their demeanor, that tells the tale. Plus, he's been linking arms more often with his agent than with his teammates, and that always raises eyebrows. Agents didn't hang around unless there's a move in the pipeline, and sources close to the player have hinted that offers have been knocking for weeks. The lure of European football elsewhere, maybe even a return Thai Genk or a ball move Thai League One, is hard to ignore. Some say Dezers was promised more than he got at IBROX. More minutes, more support, maybe even a system that played to his strengths. But when the goals dried up and the groans got louder, maybe he realized this club wasn't his home. It's nay always a dramatic exit. Sometimes it's just a slow fade, and that could be what we're witnessing right now. Still, you've got to ask the bigger question, what does this mean for Rangers' transfer strategy? If Desires is indeed away, it leaves a gap up top, and you can bet the board's already working the phones. The fans want a marquee name someone who can fire us back to the top and win the big matches, especially in Europe. Losing Desires, whether you loved him or not, changes the dynamic. He was physical, a presence in the box, and even though he missed his fair share, he drew defenders like moths to a flame. Whoever comes in next needs to be more clinical, more dynamic, maybe even a different profile altogether. Are we going for youth or experience, homegrown talent, or another international wildcard? The market's a jungle right now, but if Rangers are serious about challenging Celtic next season, they can't afford to get this wrong. Desires might not have been a fan favorite, but replacing him won't be as simple as chucking a few quid at the problem. It's about chemistry hunger and being able to handle the weight of that blue shirt. And right now, there's a real sense that something big is brewing behind the scenes. But here's the thing that's got folk talking even more. Was this always part of the plan? There's a theory floating about that Dezers was never meant to be a long-term solution, just a stopgap while the squad transitioned. When Michael Bill brought him in the pitch, it was clear he'd be the focal point or the attack, the spearhead, or a new look front line. But football's cruel, mate. The moment the goals start drying up, patience wears thin and trust between a player and manager starts cracking. And let's be honest, when Clement came in, the vibe shifted completely. Different tactics, different tempo. De Serres looked a wee bit lost at times, like he was playing in someone else's boots. If the systems they built around him, he's near the same threat. Add to that the fact that the fans started growing restless. Aye, Rangers supporters are really shy about letting players know when things are only going right. It's no surprise he might be eyeing an exit. So maybe this was always coming, and now that the club's got eyes on other targets, perhaps it suits all parties if Dezers bows out quietly and lets the next man step in. What's truly fascinating is how divided the reactions. Been across social media, scroll through Twitter, or X as we're meant to call it now, and you'll see the split plain as day. On one side, you've got the loyalists who believe De Serres never got the proper support, always grafted, and deserved another season to prove his worth. They point to his Europa League goals, his work rate, and the times he battled through poor service. Tay still create chances. Then there's the other camp, the ones who never really warmed Tay him. Folk who think he lacked composure, missed sitters, and cost the team dearly in crucial moments. They're celebrating his exit like it's a summer signing. That's the beauty and madness of football in Glasgow in it. You're either the hero or the scapegoat, often both within a space of 90 minutes. But this kind of division tells ye one thing. De Serres stirred emotion one way or another, and players who polarize like that rarely last long. Rangers is a pressure cooker, and if the fan bases are united behind you, you're always a bad month away from the exit door. Maybe he saw the writing on the wall. Maybe he's just taking control of his own story. And don't forget the business side of it all. This isn't just about football. It's about money, wages, and value. Rangers paid a fair chunk for De Serres, and he's still got market value, especially with clubs in Europe sniffing about. If there's serious interest now's the time to cash in before his stock drops. Aye, there's a romantic side to football. But at the end of the day, it's a numbers game, and if a deal's on the table that helps balance the books while freeing up space for a new striker, you better believe the board's entertaining. Plus, there's been rumblings that Rangers are working on a couple of incoming deals already. One name from the Dutch League and another from South America, apparently. If those go through, someone's got to make room. It's a reshuffle. Plain and simple. Every season brings turnover, but this summer feels different. It's like the club's clearing the decks for a real tilt to silverware. So if Dezers is sacrificed in the name of progress, that's just the ruthless nature of the game. And he'll land on his feet. He's too good a player not to find a decent gig elsewhere. Still, I can't help but think about what could have been. There were glimpses, flashes where De Serres looked like he could be the main man. That away goal in Europe, the calm finish at Pittodrie, the flicks, the hold-up play. It was all there in bursts. But consistency's the currency of Rangers, and too often his touch deserted him when it mattered most. Folk remember the misses more than the makes, and that's just how it goes. Had he hit a wee run of form during the winter window, maybe the narrative would be different. Confidence plays a huge role, and in Glasgow, confidence is fragile. One bad touch and the groans echo like thunder. For a player like De Serres who relies on rhythm, that's poison. Maybe a fresh start's exactly what he needs. A new club, a new league, less scrutiny. And who knows, he might go and take bang in 20 goals next season and leave the Rangers faithful wondering what they lost. But right now it feels like both sides have accepted the reality. The experiment didn't quite work out. No bad blood, just a mutual nod and a handshake. Sometimes that's the most respectful ending you can hope for. Before we continue, make sure to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications to get all the exclusive news about Rangers FC. Don't overlook any details about your beloved team. It's crucial for Rangers FC fans. And that brings us to what's next for the Gers. There's no time for sentiment. Pre-season's ticking on and Champions League qualifiers loom large. If De Serres is truly leaving, the club needs reinforcements. Sharpish. The market's wild right now, and Rangers can't afford another gamble. They need a finisher, someone cold, ruthless, and with a point to prove. Someone who understands what it means to play under the IBROX lights with the whole of Scotland watching. And with Celtic looking strong again, there's no room for error. Every signing's got to hit the ground running. There's pressure on the board, pressure on Clement, and pressure on whoever steps into De Serres' boots. This isn't just a tactical decision. It's symbolic. It says something about the ambition of the club. Are we moving forward? Are we building a squad to dominate domestically and compete in Europe? Or are we just treading water, hoping for a bit of luck? Whatever happens, Désir's departure, or potential departure, could be the domino that sets the summer in motion. And if the club gets it right, this might be remembered as the moment when Rangers got their fire back. Here's another angle that's got folk whispering in the pubs and forums. What if this whole Désir situation is nae as clean-cut as it seems? What if there's been a bust-up behind the scenes, something a bit more personal between player? And coach here ken how it goes. These things rarely stay hidden for long. Reports from those close to the training ground say there's been tension. No shouting matches or boots flying, nothing dramatic like that, but subtle things. Cold shoulders, lack of praise, omitted from certain drills, substituted early in friendlies without explanation. Footballers are prideful creatures, and when a manager stops believing in you, you feel it in your bones. Maybe Clement Sharp, as he is, just didn't see Dessers as part of his blueprint for the team. And if Dessers picked up on that, well, maybe he made the first move. There's been no farewell video yet, no thank you post from the club, and that silence speaks volumes. Something's bubbling under the surface, and it wouldn't shock anyone if we hear more details leak out in the next few days. If it's a sour ending, it'll sting. But if it clears the path for a better fit up front, maybe it's a necessary fracture. And now we've got the pundits weighing and adding fuel to the flames. Ex-players, ex-managers, even a few former Rangers legends have been dropping hints that they wouldn't be surprised if Dessers moved on this window. You know the type. Always in the know, never fully quotable, but they've got their ear to out of ground. One former IBROX man said last night on a podcast, there's players training at that club right now who already know they're gone. And everyone's taking that as a nod to Dessers. When the chatter gets that specific, there's usually truth behind it. It's not a coincidence that journalists have started pulling together exit lists, and Dessers is always near the top. He's high profile on a decent wage and still at a sellable age. Clubs know he's available, so while the fans are still debating his legacy, the machinery behind the scenes is already moving. Replacements, options, agents whispering in. Hotel lobbies. It's all happening now. The window's open, and Rangers look like they're ready to reshape the spine of their team. Désir's, whether he asked for it or not, might just be the first big domino to fall. And when it does expect, the club to move fast and loud. So here we are, 11 paragraphs deep into a story that still has no official ending, but the writing feels etched in stone. CYRIEL Désir's the Nigerian forward brought in to be the answer. Up top is on his way out of IBROX. Whether by mutual decision, tactical reshuffle, or personal ambition, it's a move that feels inevitable now. But as always with Rangers, the drama lies not just in what's said, but what's unsaid. There's an air of unfinished business, like we never truly saw the best or worst of him. He came in with expectations, carried the weight of that iconic number 9 role at times, but never quite took flight. Some will remember the flashes, the effort, the grit. Others will remember the misfires and the missed moments. But all will agree, it was a turbulent chapter. And as he likely walks out the door, attention now turns to who steps in. The striker role at Rangers is more than just a position. It's a mantle, a pressure cooker, a legacy spot. Whoever comes next, they'll inherit not just a jersey, but the expectations of thousands. And as for Désir's, we'll watch where he goes. Because this story's far from over. It's just changing venues. Greetings, fans. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, as it's greatly appreciated by Rangers FC. And don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comments section below. Until the next video, stay tuned.